For this mobility flow, you're going to start on your mat, laying face down on your stomach. Your first move is a long swim push-up. So you'll start with the hands under your shoulders, and then you're going to reach your arms overhead nice and long up toward the ceiling as well. Swim them around all the way to the hips. Tuck the hands under the shoulders and lift your entire body as a plank for a push-up. Lower yourself down chest first and repeat. At the top of that third push-up, you're going to hold plank and then jump the feet in so your knees are just hovering right below your hips, and you'll reach one leg through for a bear sit-through for about 5 repetitions. From here, you're going to rest the knees down on the floor, take that same leg that you were threading and extend it out to the side, making sure that the hips stay stacked over that bent knee. And then you're going to rock your body forward and back, sitting back on that heel, and then forward over those hands. So you should get a nice deep stretch in that extended leg. Now holding your hip over that bent knee, that extended leg is going to rotate, so you're going to turn your toes up toward the ceiling and then turn them back down toward the floor, really focusing on that external rotation. From here, we'll go into a long lever hip abduction. So you're going to lift your leg up, move it around to the back, and then drop it down. So you're lifting up to about hip height, around to the back, tap the toes down, lift it back up, and around to the side. You're going to bring that knee back under the hip, lift the knees up so you're in a bear pose, and then we'll complete the next 5 bear sit-throughs with the same leg. You can now bring it back down to your stomach. We're going to go into a long swim push-up, and then we'll repeat the sequence on the other side. Now you can jump the feet in so the knees are under the hips, hovering, and then you'll do sit-throughs on the other side, about 5 times. Now rest the knees down and take that same leg that you were threading for the sit-through and extend it out to the side. We're going to do our rock backs, so you're going to sit back onto your heels and then up over your hands with your shoulders, So you're just going to focus on a nice stretch through the inside of that extended leg. Returning the hips so that they're above the bent knee. We'll now do external rotation, so turning your foot up toward the ceiling and then internally rotating down to the floor. Externally rotating up and then rotating down. Now for our favorite, the long lever hip abduction. So you'll lift that leg up, keeping it out to the side, and then you're going to move it around to the back, tap the toes down, and then use your glutes to lift it up behind you, and then bring it around back to the side. Now moving into a tall plank, going into a low lunge. We have a low lunge to a knee drive coming up next. So swinging that leg forward, gaining your balance, and then coming up and driving that back knee all the way up, sending that leg back super long into a nice low lunge, really challenging your balance in that back step. From here, we'll land that back leg down nice and low. Hands come to the inside of that front foot, and we'll do a dynamic hamstring. So you're going to lower the hips to the floor and then pushing the floor away, lifting those hips up toward the ceiling, staying in a folded position the whole time. From here, we'll walk the hands around, keeping the feet wide. So now we're in a wide stance, folded forward, and we're going to do a lateral lunge with a knee drive. So you're going to bend to one side, the same leg that's been working, bending that knee and then pushing that floor away, driving that knee up, and then landing in a nice long lateral lunge. From this last one, we're going to put the hands down near that moving leg, and then we're going to do a dynamic stretch here as well. So keeping the hands by the foot, you're going to bend that knee and then extend the hips up toward the ceiling, looking for a stretch in the lateral part of your hamstring. We can now walk the hands around to the other foot, and we're going to work on the other side, starting with that low lunge to knee drive, getting your balance, and then driving that back knee up for a knee drive, sending it way back into a nice low lunge. From here, you'll plant that back leg down, dropping the hips down to the floor and then extending the hips up toward the ceiling, keeping the hands on the floor near that front foot so you get a nice deep hamstring stretch. Walking the hands around so you're in that folded wide stance. We're going into a lateral lunge with knee drive on that other side. So bending that knee and then driving that foot away, bringing that knee up nice and high, landing out wide into a nice low lateral lunge. On this last one, you're going to stand wide, plant the hands down, dropping into that lateral squat, and then shifting the hips upward so you get a nice deep stretch in those hamstrings on the lateral side. We're going to walk the hands around to the other foot again, turning so that you're in a sort of long lunge position. And we're going into a folded cross lunge, so sending the leg all the way across as far as you can bring the foot, and then dropping the hips down for a nice deep stretch through that outer hip. When you bring the leg back to center, just gain your balance and then send it right back into that cross lunge. From here, we're going to go into a hip cradle so that back leg can move in line with that front foot, and that front foot will come onto its edge so the knee can fall out and you can start to cradle that hip a little bit, just rocking side to side. You can now work your way out of this position. Bring that back leg forward so that you are in a forward fold. Take your time here for your stretch, reaching forward with the hands, and then dropping the hips down low, raising the arms and coming up nice and tall. Then reaching overhead and crossing your leg for a nice side body stretch. Nice big reach. And you'll fold, drop, raise the arms, reach up high, and go into that side body stretch. After about 3 of those, going back into that fold, we're going to do the cross lunge on the other side. So you're going to send the other leg in back and across, dropping the hips down nice and low for a deep stretch, and then staying folded but bringing that foot back in line with the hip. From here, you're going to take that back leg and get it in line with that front heel, sinking down nice and low. And then that front foot's going to come onto its edge, and you'll let that knee fall out to the side. Widen your stance with your hands, and you're going to just rock through the hips for your hip cradle. Take your time moving out of this position and back into a forward fold, Bringing the feet side by side, far enough apart so that you can sink the hips down nice and low, raising the arms, reaching up high, and then reaching off to the side, crossing your legs for a nice long side body stretch. Reaching up, cross the legs and reach over, and continue. There you have it. Your workout is complete.